user. So everybody who is more experienced, we also have a meeting next week or training next week, where we show next week the more advanced user. So today is more the new user. What I want to show today is login first time. Then I want to give a short presentation about the design portal, the different designers. ISX Designer 9, the one which we use mostly, where the Galaxy design is inside and the data center design. And then the reports, additional parts, and then how you submit an approval. And of course, question and answer. Right now it's muted, so if you have something in between, you can of course use the chat function as well. I will look at the chat inside WebEx. Otherwise, we will open at the end of the line. So, if you go to the Sales Tools portal, in the Sales Tools portal, you have the link for the APC Design Portal. The login here is your single sign logon, so it's the same. You also see all the browsers we support: Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, Safari, Opera. You can log in different languages as well. It is the setting of your computer which normally determines the predefined, also the default settings. So if your computer is set up in French, it will be a French login. If you have login problems, there is actually a great help behind this bottom here. So in the pop-up, they will explain everything, what is the problem, why you cannot log in, and how you solve it. So log in. You can choose to stay signed in. You can use to like log in like me. Or, you get thrown out if you're inactive, not ineffective, inactive. And then you have to select that you're Schneider Electric employee, or of course if a partner logs in, partner user. It is that the login is faster. That's why it's doing that. Then it has just to check the half of the solution. So in the design portal, when you normally open it, you will get into My Solution. You will see My Solution. You have different views. You can select where you want to land when you come into the design portal by highlighting here the star, make as default. I have my own filter down here. That's also something you can do. Make a setup here and save as filter, and then give it a name, and then you have your own filter down here. What you always will be seeing for all Schneider employees is the same. So all Schneider employees have access. There's no special access required. As soon as you're in the address book of Schneider, you have access. You will always see My Solution. You have always All Solution, Shared Solution, My Archive Solution, and Standard Solution. TSS is something which my team and myself has especially. So just to highlight, if you work with partners, they have other views. Partners also see their company solutions. So instead of all solution, they will have the same partner solution, or from the same partner the solutions from their colleagues. So that's a possibility that they can see it. Shared solution is if you have a partner or several sales, you can share solutions. That's if I create a solution here, which we do later, I'm the owner, and I see it in my solution, all my solutions. But if I have a system engineer or a partner, I can share the solution that they also see it in my solution. That's why it's there. So in Explore, I'll just move a bit around, we have different other things which we can use. We have a data center reference design selector. So if you have a data center reference, you can go in there and check this as well. It is quite a download, so we got good connected. Small IT solution selector. So this is a homepage based from the small IT solution designer. I won't show it today. They're working very hard on it. I just tried to start. It doesn't. Then we have different trade-offs tools where you can calculate the best cost of owner and all that. I would suggest you go in and have a look. Then we have a CFD software, so where we can calculate the airflow or simulate the airflow. It is also a heavy program. It's about 400 megabytes, so also be good connected. First time you download, it's always the first time. Otherwise, after, it is just a click and you're up and running. Access floor tool, here that's from Uniflare, the access floor, where when you click on it, you download an Excel file where you can calculate the need of your access floor, and you get all the SKUs. Then a Unicalc performance tool for NAM products only, so that's not very interesting. Then we have the Uninet access through the design portal, saves you from extra login because you're logged into the system already. In the design, here we also have different views, depends who it is. So everybody has solution view, new solutions, and then when you have downloaded the first time the infrastructure designer 9, then you also have desktop designer. The calculation one is from Gutor, so that's not something which we'll cover today. So what's new here? If you click, you can show what's new. Unfortunately, I have to say it's not very updated, at least last time I looked. It's not something which is done update very often. In generally, we can say, I'll try to go back, we can say the software team, which is based in India, releases every month a new release. There are 2 months which they don't mostly, and this is the one in summer vacation, so end of July they want, and then end of December they want. So otherwise they are quite constant, releasing once a month. And so it's always at the end of the month. Then admin is something which we have. In preference, you can set up your whole design portal. So you can set up, like I did here, the language English, the country Denmark. It's always the country when you create new, which is set as default. You can of course change it. If you first time log in, it is US, the US, which is first. Then you can also tell how many rows per list you want to see, if it should be training or not, and all of that. Yeah. For training solution by default, subscribe for email, do not show terms and conditions. That's also something to say. And then you can send emails, enable all solution for linking. So that's the setups you can do. So, but if we go in and go for a new solution, you will see that I now get Denmark. And due to Denmark, I have a metric system. So in the US, it would of course be imperial. You will see in the floor layout is this in millimeters, the distance, everything. So in this new solution, we have different designers. Infrastructure designer, that's the one I would go deeper. So that's our main one, which we use mostly. Then we have small IT solution designer. They are under construction, so you need the right Java version for that one, which Schneider updated me, so I have a too good one right now. And then EcoBreeze, so if you have an EcoBreeze configuration, so EcoBreeze the big cooling, air-to-air cooling. And then we have also a Galaxy configurator, which just shows the Galaxy 300 in EMEA. So this is something which we just show in EMEA, the Galaxy 300. Then we have the Gutor tool, which the most don't have access, and the standard solutions, where LOB works very hard right now on. to give us more and more standard solutions, like the micro data centers. Then AST works a lot with this to give us some standard containerized solutions, also prefabricated solutions. So if you go in there, you will see. I can also say in the pipeline right now there is a designer especially for the prefabricated. So this, and you see here the different fixed pods, reference design, smart bunker solution, and this is now for Denmark. So I don't think in Denmark we have more than the rest. I would say the biggest country have mostly more, and then it gets distributed to the smaller countries. Yeah, so that's where you can just select a reference design, make a copy, and then you get back to, you can then either just copy it and do it, and then you will get the price right away, or you can of course as well edit it. So, good, we're in Denmark, back in. So, okay, what I wanted to show is the ISX Designer 9. So let's create new solution. Where are we? So it was this field down here. I know what's going on. Let's start new solution. Yep, good. So something I have to highlight is as well, don't change the name first and then the country, because it back in the back it saves already. So if you change the country, United Kingdom, let's try this one, and then afterwards the name. If you do the opposite way, you need to change the name again. So this is something. If you choose training solution or not is up to you, of course. I mean, if you have a real opportunity, then don't choose. If you just want to go in and try around, then it's up to you. It is just, if you have a training solution and you submit it to my team, we will not see it. So we will not approve it, we will not look at it, simply because we don't see it at all. So it will not get, it's not audible, nothing. But in the beginning, it's everything the same. You can play around, try around. You can also change status of solution from training to non-training and the other way around. It's both possible. So if we go to configure, we will get a window where we have to download the first time the ISX Designer 9. So here you can download this. It's around 160 megabyte. Again, you just need it in the first time. Every time else, you don't need it. So when you have downloaded, you proceed to configure, and you get the file up here, and download file, and then you start up. So the first thing which I get is the room shape. So since the release somewhere in spring this year, we have a new shapes. So we have two possibilities where you can give the length and the width, so as a rectangular, or you can draw it all yourself free on the map. So if we could just give here 15. The next one is the physical properties. So tile size, hot tile size, cold tile size, and everything. And the same is later on. So if you go first in for a galaxy design, which I want to show first, then you don't need these steps. We will after do a solution where we need in a data center all these steps as well. So if you go for a Galaxy, you can just say finish. Updating settings. Yeah. And this is the time it downloads. So double started. Good. Good. Here on the left side you have all the different configurators. In the middle you have the floor layout. On the right side you can see what you have inside the racks. Down here you have recommendation and warnings. Left bottom corner you have the unplaced equipment, and down here you have the overview of the whole area. Up here you can make backup files. If you make a backup, it will save directly on your computer. The only thing you need to remember is the country. So like my title here, Saudi Arabia. So if you have a country, remember the country, because when you're back to a good connection, you can start up the same country, just start up, and as soon as you're in this window, you can go in and restore. But it needs to be the same country, otherwise you get an error. Yeah. Of course you can save, you can start a new solution, open solution, import background image, or export to structural management, to the CFD software, central and operation. Then you can always do or undo. Then you have the different configurator like we show you down here. And different reports, I will just show you afterwards. And the very good help. So if you click here, it downloads the help and gives you some guidance in the beginning. So first we want just to go for a Galaxy configuration. So if you go for power, you have different configurators. You go into the Galaxy and you can do the configuration. So if we go here and show like 100 kVA, we see the different Galaxy configurations. So we have a Galaxy 5.5, Galaxy 7000. So we have 3.5, 5.5, 7000 and the VM right now in the Galaxy configurator. So that's all. The functionality of the different Galaxy is not all the same. As you remember, Galaxy VM is the newest, so we're not as many functions as like for the Galaxy 5.5 inside. So if I select the UPS, I can also say I want to have future loads, so like 200. Then I can have still a Galaxy 5500, 100 kVA, and can expand it to 4. You can change it the voltage, you can make it frequency conversion, you can select redundancy, so then you get 2 here. You can also select 3 to 1, and then as you know, we just go down to the Galaxy 3.5. That's the only one we have, it's 3.1. You can of course change the power factor, and when you have selected the UPS, like Galaxy 5.5, we have standard battery cabinets. You just make some minutes, like 10 minutes, and then we can go in and select the cabinet we want. I mean, 10 minutes, it's now taking the 9.92 minute cabinet, but we say it's not enough, I need the bigger one, or 7 minutes is fine for me. So you can select the UPS, the batteries as well here. Then, if I'm not happy with this choice, I can also go to custom and select the batteries custom. What is the difference between the standard battery cabinets and the custom batteries? In the standard battery cabinets, all batteries are connected and wired when they come on site, built in the container. Plus, I get a cable which is able to connect between the UPS and the batteries, and the length of the cable is that the cabinets are standing next to each other. If I make a custom battery configuration, I will get the cabinet, or I can also choose open racks. I will get the batteries, but I also get the interconnection cables, but they are not installed yet, so the installation is not done. As well, I don't get any cables from the UPS to the batteries, so that's missing. So if I'm putting here runtime, I can choose manufacturer. Right now we have Excite and Yuasa. That's the most used brands in EMEA. That's why we have them. And all batteries are 10 to 12 years by default. So that's why I also cannot choose here. I can choose full runtime end of the year. And I will see here the relative price. So because this is also open for partners, we don't show the real price, we just see the relative price. By default, we have a cabinet solution. If you go to the solution of the cabinet, you can see here which cabinets are used. It is always selected by the total width, so the smallest footprint is always top. But if you have to say, hey, I have a strange room and I need 2 times 700, that's also possible, then you get that. If you want to have racks, you can change it here to racks. As soon as you choose racks, you get a temperature monitor 1 per UPS. If you have cabinet, the temperature monitor is already included in the battery breaker kit, which is built in the battery cabinet. You also see here, if I choose back to cabinet, it's a kit, and this has the temperature monitor included. So none is bit. It's not really good while. Then, as soon as I have the rack, I have here some information about the rack. It's a 930 millimeter Yuasa rack. Yeah. So this is the standard racks, which we have prices. If you have anything else, very high, very small, anything else, we can always get special racks. It just takes, everything special takes 2-3 days. So that's takes extra. Another thing is, if you see this one, that means that you don't have the same access rights as myself here. So if you don't see the selection of the battery, you can come to me and I will be able to give you access. I just need the email address, that's it. So let's go and choose Rex, so we will see how it looks like. Okay. Good. In the UPS, I can choose, do I want to have external or non-battery bypass, system bypass, because I have a future expansion, I have M+1, it's very normal, and by default that you get an external bypass. You can also go into advanced and select like single main, connection top or bottom, backfeed protection you can select. You can select your system earthing, so if you need a transformer for galvanic isolation, it's here. If it's a dual, we mostly put it on the back. You can also say if you need a special filter, so the EMC filter, the display language you can select. Then the increased protection, if it's IP32. If you have special synchronization need, you can select here as well. Or if you want to have an empty cabinet in the same form and shape of this Galaxy 5.5, you can also select it here. If there's something that needs to be built in on site. Then I also have 3 spare part kits levels: emergency, support, and complete. Yeah, I want to keep it quite simple right now. So the same, the last one is the communication. We have, of course, always a network management card included. This is additional, so if you need more. So over internet, so in addition to the included. So if you need extra. Good. I just say OK. As you see here, I will get everything on my left side, unplaced equipment. Then I can just grab one by one, or I select all and grab them all together. So I have a transformer, I have my external bypass, and CBB, the battery breaker, which I can put so onto the wall. As you see, the galaxies, they snap wherever you want. You can also tell them to rotate. So you see them right transformer and then the bypass. Good. So that's my small solution which I just made. Looking at the reports, so we have 3 reports: boom report, detail code report, and part number status. So part number status just shows if it's released or not. I don't think that's mostly it should be released. Oh. Boom report and detail code report has the difference that in the boom report you have no prices, but it's much faster. So I would recommend to use the boom report and first go back to the detail code report when you're in design portal again, because then you have also the real price. Here you have the default prices. So you see here that's all my solution, which I have here right now. So I have 2 temperature monitors, then my external bypass, 2 times this battery breaker box, 2 UPSs, and all this is the information for one battery, and this is for the second battery. So the most lines here are information. I mean, here we have 34 batteries, and here we have 1 rack. The rest is information. It says it's 100 kVA, 15 minutes is chosen, power factor 0.8, we have 1 string. This information is needed for UASA in this case to make all the battery interconnection cables. So this is automated system, that's why it looks a bit big, but it's an automated system. As soon as we have an order, it goes automatically to UASA. They can see it out of this order. What is what is the order? How do they have to calculate the cables? Good. So always safe in between. So safe helps you if you make very big solution, or if you're in an area where the connection is not 100% super. Always safe. Another feature which we have is the 3D view. So you can see what we just did. So the UPSs, and then the battery rack here is, yeah, as pictureless, I would say, but it's at least the frame size. Yeah. No, it's actually a transformer, which was battery racks was showing. Yeah, transformer. We didn't have a picture. Oh yeah, going back to the 3D, you can make pictures here. So you just save screenshots, so that when you present it to custom, you can say, here it is. Good. We saved it. We can go back to the portal. It will jump up a new window. You will see the price, the default ERP price. The partners, they have double prices here. So they see their partner price and the ERP price. Depends on the partner levels. So we in Schneider see just the ERP price. In some regions we also see list price, which is higher than ERP. Then we have possibilities to look at the CTO report. The CTO report is a report where it's more for FSCs on-site and constructioning in the factory. First we show them what we have, like the bill of material we just showed. Then we showed what we have for UPS, 2 UPSs, 400 volt. International English is chosen, 15 minutes, the actual runtime is 15.48. The load on the DC, 86.49. batteries which we have, and the service of the battery assembly is not included. And here the floor layout. We have different reports in here. We have a quote report, so that's the report without service, just hardware only. Deal quote report is the report you mostly, as a sales guy, use, with line by line prices. And here this is always added, summed up together. The batteries summed up together. It's just the battery in the racks. And here line by line the prices. Then we have a CTO report, that's the one I just showed. Part number status report, mostly interesting if you get a warning that the part number is not being released. Then shipment information report, here you get here you get sizes. And you can all reports download either to HTML, so to a homepage, Adobe, PDF, Excel or Word. Then we have also advanced reports, software scope of work. So that's this one, which we don't have in the Galaxy. We have drawings, where we can download to AutoCAD and Visio. It is a generator. It takes quite a while, so you can start it and work, continuous working on the tool, and it will in the background download it. Then you can also take proposals. So proposal, you see, you can have different proposals here and say what you want to show, billing information, all the different subjects. You can check, or we have some different already, and we also have this in different languages. Yeah. What else do we have? And then the documents, yeah, documents. So in here, if you select all of it, you get an Excel file with the link to the home page. So you don't need to give, I just generate one. So you don't need to give, search it for yourself. You can give to this to the partner or customer, and he has the links with all the manuals already. Quite handy. Good. So if we want to make a new solution, I want to show now the ISX, the data center. We can go here, select new solution directly, Denmark. It's always loading. Here is the moment where it checks if it has updated or not. So if I say now again the 1015, I get my rack. So now it's more important to step through. So tile size, if I have a raised floor, 600 millimeters most common, and I can see I have a 350 millimeter floor height. Hot tile width, cold tile width. The hot aisle, so if we make an echo aisle, here I can show the hot tile width. I can also in the echo aisle configurator change it to 4 feet, 5 or 6 feet. This is 3 feet. Cold tile width I can of course change already now. Then the ceiling height is not so important. It is more important if it's too low. Please give us a warning that we can calculate. You know, our racks are 2 meter. With cable profs we need about, it's about 2 meter 25, and just to handle it we need about 2 meter 40, 2 meter 50, so we can work with it. Power redundancy, so this is just defaults. So if I select here 6 minutes when I start up into the power zone of the Simetra PX, the batteries will by default be 6 minutes. I can always change it. Power distribution, overhead is selected as default. If you select on the floor, be aware the PXs cannot on the floor. So we need to guide the cable on the side down. The only one which can is actually the half rack PDU. That's the only one which can do over and on the floor. Otherwise we need some extra support. Here we can say a number of data troughs. if it's on all equipment or just new and or not at all. Same with the power, new or not at all. And then very important, if we have cooling here, we need to have the inputs from your side. Is what water do you calculate? The default water here, first of all, 7.2 is something exact, as something straight out from Fahrenheit, so it's a calculation. That's why we have such a straight number. Then it's very low. I haven't seen very much 7.2 in reality. So we go with 12, 14, 15. That's the ones which we do. The 5.6s as well. It's 6 or 7 normally. Elevation is as well needed. So if you are high up, like Johannesburg, 1500 meter or over 1500 meter, then we need to know the air gets thinner, the cooling unit gets derated. That's why we need to know it. Same glycol type. We need to know if you put glycol in. Yeah, it reduces the capability of the water to transport heat or energy, and that's why we need to know it to calculate proper. Cooler supply. So if you have, so this raised floor leak is something which is prepared for Uniflare if it ever comes. So right now, because we don't push through the raised floor, it's not needed. The cooler supply is the supply into the racks or out of the racks. No, not out of the rack, out of the cooling unit. Sorry. And you see here with 12.6, I have 18 degrees hot water. It's mostly better to have a bit more here, like 22 or 23. So you have a delta T of 3, so you can use the full coil. Yeah. Then cooling distribution is mostly on the floor in EMEA. Good, finish. So the room properties, that's just what we did. So if you open here, you get through the same again. The racks, so if we go into the rack, I have here all my supported racks from the design portal. Right now there are actually quite many. So I have the normal racks, 600, 750, 42, 48, 1070 and 1200 millimeter deep, and the same for networking racks as well. So this is, so if I choose a load here like 7 kilowatt, I get a different rack mount PDUs and I get different sensors by default if I choose that. So if I choose also deep racks, so 1200 millimeter, I can choose that as well. If I want to have 2 rack mount PDUs, I can select here a whole list of rack mount PDUs. I can remove, add, change, and this is the whole list for rack mount PDUs. It's quite extensive. So I can add the same for the sensors. So if I want to remove sensors, say, hey, I have too much, I want to set something else like a smoke sensor. So the selected smoke sensor is not compatible with NetBots 200, so then I know I need another one. Good. So here I have my 10. So if I go in, you see here, I can put 5 here, and you see it's bigger, so the aisle gets 1200 millimeter automatically. Good. So I have some racks. Next thing is the power. So in the power zone, I have different zones. So power zone is where the PXs are in, the galaxies where we just showed, emerging power off. Then PX500 is here, and then we have the static transfer switch. FS is also special. So if I go here, I have all my racks with all my load on the left side, and I can click them to the right side, and I will see that I have a problem. I get an error because the default is 48. So if I go to 96, then it's all okay. I can choose battery. Here you see 6 minutes is the default. Because I didn't change, I can lift it up to 9 minutes or even more battery racks. Power distribution is included. So if I want to have no power distribution and the wall mounted bypass or line up bypass, I can select here. And I can also add additional load. Here, let's just add one. So then I take the UPS up here, and it is here. So now I just shortly need to line up. So cooling, I can click on the cooling here. I can see direct expansion, inward chill water, and cold equal containment, or I select the whole room with the mouse, right click, and make the configure the cooling like this. Configure equal containment. In the equal containment, it is in feet. So our product equal containment has 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, and 6 feet aisle. So it's not 1200 millimeter or 900. If you choose a 1200, or not choose, but if you need a 1200 millimeter, then select the 4 feet. The doors are flexible, so the 4 feet can be pushed down to 3 feet, so also to 1200. The 5 feet gets from 5 to 4, and the 6 feet 6 to 5. But the roof needs to be cut. It's not a very difficult task, but it needs extra special work. You need to consider on site, which takes time. So you need to consider this with the service team. Then I can do different containment type, like ducted. If I have a overhead, under the overhead, like a cold aisle containment, and with Uniflare, I take with a KEX, I take the cold here through ducted out, or the Eco Breeze. I can also go into the advanced, where I can have elevated adjustable mounting kits. This I would only use if you have third-party racks. So if you have in the middle third-party racks, this is a good solution, because then you can cut it out. Otherwise, you will also see, if you play with the tool, you will get extra service, which is it's much more expensive than the rack direct with height adapter. Then I can also choose 2 different kind of material. Ripped is the Pexel Pex, so it's plastic, which is not see-through, and then we have solid plexiglass, which is see-through. So if you have light above, solid is the one which you want to choose. So you get the light through. Then you have a drop out you can choose as well. So, I can choose in between 3 options: sliding door, none, and curtains. If I choose here the 914, I have a 4th option. I have a hinge door as well. This is just available for the 3 feet. And lock type is either standard or nothing. That's all what we have. Then we can add require light. So the normal, which we mostly choose, is 600 millimeter. So the light strips LED is a 300 millimeter long light strip. So if I choose 600 millimeter, then I have 2 times no light, 1 times light, 2 times no light. If I choose 0, then I have light all over. Then I can choose here the UPS, and you see per default I get already 5. I can select in here which UPS I have taken. The S version is the default version. I can of course also choose the H version to get a bit more out, but then I also need to be aware that I need to control the humidification in the room, and it also costs more. So that's something which I would look at, what is better. Then cable water detector is here. So if you choose here a cable water detector, you get 1 per cooling. So if I have 5 here, I get 5 cable water detector, 1 per cooling. If you choose 4, you get in total 20. Stainless flex pipe is the flex pipe which we use to connect to the piping system. And here is as well 1 kit per UPS, per cooling unit, sorry. So if I say OK, I get the equal already. The cooling unit is unplaced, so I can get down here and put the cooling. So let's put one here, maybe one in between here. I need to open a bit more. Oh, that doesn't want. So, and then space. So first, what's very important is we need always the door to be mounted on the side. So we need the space to be somewhere else. So if I choose here, space here, I get the blanking panels from the tool itself. So this 300mm, which I get space here, is covered. What warning I have here is that the cooling unit has no power connection, so I need to go in and connect the power of the cooling unit as well. Just double check the battery. Yeah. So because I would now get a new frame here. Yeah. So then I see here everything is green. So this is default calculation. We always have to double check because it's not just the area of the calculate. We also have to calculate the water capacity. So here it says red. My team would calculate this always by hand again. That's why it's very important that you get us the information about the water temperature, humidification, if you have special consideration. Good. Next step would be security and environmental. I can choose three things here. I can choose none, environmental monitoring, and security and environmental monitoring. If, like me, right now, I have in each rack 3 sensors and just 2 Rackman PDUs. That means I cannot connect all the sensors to the Rackman PDUs because each Rackman PDU of the new ones, the EP8, has one T or TH sensor port. So for this, I need always an environmental monitoring with the NetBots 200. If I want to have camera, then I need, of course, security environmental, include cameras, and I get it by default the amount. I can add or delete whatever I want. Same as here with the rack access, just add. And put the cameras. Put the cameras in realistic because the cable is actually calculated. So you get enough cable. So if I go a bit closer to the solution, you see here 3 sensors, my NetBots, 3 sensors, and my pod, sensor pod. So this is here, and this is the UPS connect, and the cameras. So the next one is management. So if I go to management, I have to select a rack where the management is based. Then I can select different level of data center export, basic, standard, enterprise, and virtual. Even though you select virtual, we still need to know where it is based because the switches will get installed on the same place, and we get then also all the cable calculation. Here I can always add everything which I need, like operation, change capacity. If you have a question, you can click on the info bar and you will get it, the infos about it. So you see here, now this is my management rack. You will also see here, I have the data center expert and 2 switches, which is connected over this data cable. Service. As soon as I have more than 7 racks, as soon as I have more than, as I have cooling, I get enhanced or managed. So I cannot choose basic. Basic is just startup. Enhanced is startup and assembly. Managed is with installation management. It's not available in all countries, but in the most. Installation service here. Here I can choose it's 5x8 or 7x24. Then product service, here I can choose the reaction time, on-site service contract, which is longer than 1 year, so if I need extra years. And here we can just choose 2 years extra, so in maximum 3 total years. It is because afterwards it is an advanced plan where the software department can give a better offer than over the standard SKUs. And the same is for the software. I can choose the different levels or customize it. Good. That's my solution. I have to save, of course. Then as soon as I have saved, I can return to the portal again. Good. So portal takes always a while. It's not a big solution, but it takes a while always to get all the prices down. So you see now here we see we're in Denmark. So it's always country of installation. The status is open. I have designed here with 5 cooling units, 10 racks. I have the capacity, hot eye containment, 70 kilowatt. I can add additional parts here. So if I want to have blanking panels, 8631, no. So if I want to have parts, I need to know, of course, them. I can also add just a net shelter. I can add stuff here, also like a Cat5 cable. So I can add stuff. Custom parts, that's something where we can add third party. That's not available to everybody. So that's just to my team. Then the reports which I showed you already. In here we have the settings. So if you want to change from training to non-training, that's here. If you want to change the owner, that's also here. That's just somebody who owns it right now who can do that. If you want to have another guy who gets notified, you can see here, and here you have a history. Then in here you see always some additional information. This solution, if I submit this solution, will get not auto-approved. The Galaxy before would get auto-approved. It will always show here in the top if it's auto-approved or not. Auto-approved means the system evaluates that this will work. We have done it so often. This can be done right away. If you push the button here, submit solution for review, and you have green here, you will get auto-approved. It takes 2-3 seconds, and you have the price and can quote it and everything. In this case, because of the cooling, and we had this cooling performance error there, this goes to my team. I can also ask here in my team, hey, please give me a transformer or something. More then always good to know is the water. So it's what did we say? 12, 18, humidification is whatever. And then you can submit for review. My team is picking it up. Our response time is 1 working day for standard stuff. If we need to source it externally, third party, then it's 3 working days. So like this transformer, if you need special transformer, this will be 3 working days. If it's just, hey, check the cooling, that's 1 working day. Yep. That was all from my side. So maybe we can open, if we could open the
conference is now in talk mode.
If you have any questions.
Sorry, can everyone put their lines on mute if they're not speaking?
Yeah.
Okay, is there no question?